today, and now you feel fat today also. You're welcome. And now there's a podcast.
Yay!
Hey,
Hi.
how are you?
Good. How are you? Thanks for having me.
Thanks for coming over, dude.
Yes, absolutely.
We
One
live
of my favorite
we
topics.
live close to each other, so might
Yes,
as well.
I know. Truly, was it 4-minute walk?
Oh, that's amazing.
Yeah,
Hell
yeah,
yeah.
yeah. So had to come.
Yeah. How to? Amazing.
Had to.
Cool. How long have you been living in New York?
I moved here September 2018.
Oh, okay.
So it's been a minute. It's like
Yeah.
almost 6 or 7 years.
Yeah. It comes up. It creeps up on you.
So quickly.
Yeah.
And I'm from the Midwest. I'm from Chicago, and all my Chicago friends are like, "When you moving back?" And I'm like, "Never."
Yeah.
Like, I'm kind of doing something over here.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
What did you do the thing where you? I mean, maybe not. But did you do that thing where you first lived in Chicago, like not with your family, like on your own in Chicago,
Yeah.
and then you came to New York?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I lived in Chicago, but then I actually moved to Boston, and then I came to New York.
Little stopover in Boston.
Yeah, little
Typical
stop
flight plan.
Yeah,
Totally.
Yeah. I just, I couldn't get a job in New York, so I got a job in Boston, thinking if I was closer, it'd be easier to get a job in New York, and that's basically the boring story of getting a job in New York City. But
I feel like this is no shade to Boston.
Yeah.
I love my Boston listeners.
Yeah.
Like Boston's great.
yeah,
I don't know if I could live there now because I feel like Boston is just as expensive to find a place to live
no, it's so expensive.
in
So-
Boston.
yeah,
So
no.
why don't I just live in New York?
No, live in New York, and New York has diversity. Boston has better food in terms of like seafood and stuff.
Yeah, for
but
sure.
like everyone's so fucking mean. Like it's interesting that New York has the whatever the stereotype of like mean people here, when the meanest people I've ever met respectfully is in Massachusetts, all over Boston. It's
Yeah.
like it's insane. But I lived with my dad when I lived there, so I was saving money and stuff.
Hell
And
yeah.
then I came here and all my money is gone.
Yep, that's the way it goes.
But at least we get to live in New York.
Yeah, I don't mind having negative money.
Dude, in Chicago, they have New York prices. Maybe not for rent, but for other stuff.
For everything else. You try to get a meal in Chicago.
And you're like, whoa.
Yeah.
Do you know we're in the middle of nowhere? We're in the middle of the country. Sir, you had to fly this sushi like 18 hours.
Yes.
There's no reason why it should be above $5.
Yeah, agreed. Well,
Yeah.
you got to import it in, so maybe.
Okay.
Yeah.
But it didn't used to be that expensive.
Mm-hmm.
Now they're kind of just doing it for fun. Ooh, there's the cat. That's an old cat, eh?
He is an old cat.
How
He's
old is
pretty
that cat?
grizzled. I got him in August of 2021, and then they said he was 12, which can't be real because that would mean he's like 15.
I honestly, something happens to like a cat's face when they get really old, and he looks 15, but like in a respectful way. And I
Totally.
love old cats.
Well, when I was looking for a cat, because I was fostering kittens for a while, and that was great. And like everyone's like, "Oh, you're gonna keep your foster kittens," and I was like, "No, I'm not. Like I live alone. I kind of want like a rotating door of animals. I'm just here to foster. I'm just
Yeah.
here to help." And I had it in my mind where I'm like, if I'm gonna get a cat that's not a foster, it'll be a senior cat because they're so chill, you know?
Yeah.
Now he's gonna
yeah.
go and use the litter box, which is so offensive. So I apologize.
Oh, that's cool. That's a litter
I love that
box?
litter box. Yeah. Normally when I vacuum around it, it looks not so shitty, but yeah, it's a litter box. Isn't that
It's
cool?
so cool.
Yeah.
I would never guess.
Yeah. May got her cat, May Planner, friend of the show, got her Greg before I had Babastis, and I was like obsessed with her cat box. I was like,
Yeah.
whoa, that thing's
Whoa.
awesome.
Yeah.
So, yeah, and he loves it. It's great.
And it doesn't smell at all.
I really thank you for that
I
feedback.
literally didn't know there was a cat before the cat got here.
That is
Or a
things might look disheveled, but this is just kind of like my brain all over the
Yeah,
place.
yeah.
Like I can't. Like my desk is disgusting. I worked from my desk all day today. Like I
Yeah.
don't know why I am like a frumpy salesman, in the 80s, but that's just the way it is. But like everything's wiped down. vacuumed.
Yeah,
you
no,
know.
it's chill. I mean,
Washed.
I like clutter. My apartment is very cluttered. I like stuff. I like color. I like all this stuff.
Yeah.
You know.
Cohesive has never things being cohesive has never been a strong point of mine. Like I have random things like I don't know.
But I feel like at some point you get enough random stuff and it actually starts to make sense because it's all so fucking random.
Yeah.
That it's like, oh, that's the vibe. It's random.
Yeah. Yeah. It's like on Tumblr, it's like, oh, eclectic.
Yeah,
You know?
yeah.
So-
Tumblr, yeah.
But well, thank you. I appreciate that.
Yeah.
Cool. So you live in New York now. You grew up in the suburbs of Chicago?
Suburbs of Chicago, yes.
What was that like?
The mean streets of Chicago. It was like very normal, it was like Beethoven the movie. Like, you know, like very suburbia. You know, there was like, and also so I live like 30 minutes from Wisconsin. So we would do like the typical like getting drunk in people's basements, or like we go to a barn party, like where we just get drunk in a barn, and it was like classic like sneaking out, smoking weed, like
being drunk in a ditch.
Being drunk in a ditch, yeah, doing donuts in the snow,
Nice.
you know,
Yeah.
It's like, it's very basic, big bubble vibes. Like, to be honest, I never felt like I fit into Chicago or just like the people there, which was weird because it's such a basic group, respectfully basic group. Like anyone should be able to fit in there, but like I never felt like I fit in there.
Interesting, because that's the Midwest.
It's the Midwest,
city, right? And yeah, you read either, for me, I wouldn't have guessed Chicago. I probably would have honestly guessed like New England area or just like straight up like East Coast.
East Coast.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think because I'm a bitch, but
I
like,
think that there is a harshness to East Coasters.
Yeah.
You know,
and I've kind of always been that way, and I've always like the Midwest nice thing has always pissed me off.
Yeah.
And then I think I'm just very straightforward, and I love just getting to the point. And then I'm not actually mean. I'm just like honest.
It reads, I know you're not mean, and I've never gotten the vibe that you're mean, but I know what you mean in that, like, you being straightforward can read as mean.
Yeah, 100%.
That's
like,
just
like if someone asked, like my friend, like I didn't understand the concept of like lying to your friends so that they feel good until like 4 years ago.
You've never had to read Sam Harris's Lying.
No.
You've never struggled with being a lying people pleaser.
No. I kind of just, you know, I can lie to like people I don't know, but I thought like, oh, my friends, they would want truth.
Yeah. Like, oh, your hair
like,
grows.
Like if they asked me.
Yeah.
Not unprompted.
No unsolicited.
But then I would tell them the truth and they would get mad.
Yeah,
and then
sure.
everyone's like, Elle's a bitch. And I'm like, you asked.
Yeah.
And I didn't understand. And then eventually, I think I saw a TikTok and I was like, like the one feedback like my mom and friends always tell me is there's a nice way to say something.
Honesty without tact is cruelty.
Yeah.
I learned that from Kristen Bell's therapist.
Yes. That's a great, yes. That's a great sentence.
Yeah.
Honesty without tact. And I learned that way too late in life.
Yeah, that was one of those like phrases, you know, social media is very catchphrasy, like, weaponized incompetence, like it's all buzzwords, but that was one that like the moment I heard it, it like stuck in there.
Yes.
Not because I was the one that was the offender. I was the victim of people's.
Yeah.
You know, because I'm a sensitive little bitch. But
same here.
You're sensitive?
Very sensitive.
Yeah, like in what way?
I mean, you know, I feel things really deeply, and I feel like I can really, like I feel very intuitive, like I can read energies, and you know, if someone is mean to me or if someone says something mean that isn't funny, it hurts my feelings.
True that.
And if you like, my little sister, she's a Gen Z and she's been on this kick where she just like walks in a room and is like, "What's up, bitch?" And I'm like, "Excuse me?" why did you call me that?
Yeah, don't
That-
talk to your mother like that.
Yeah, I get I'm like, that was mean. Don't call me a bitch for no. It's like, it's different than like you're joking around and you're like, oh my God, you're such a bitch. That's funny.
Totally.
But like, I'm very sensitive.
Yeah. Yeah.
I am very sensitive that way. How are you sensitive?
I feel things very deeply. Like
Yeah.
what you've described. Like
Yeah.
I unfortunately the term empath is like if you can't call yourself that. And like I do understand that people have taken what that is. I always thought I had a superpower when I was a kid.
Okay.
I thought I had powers. As a
Okay.
kid.
I mean, yeah, same.
And because there was like no shade to my wonderful family, but like there's so much chaos happening all the time of like people being mad, mom's mad, dad's mad, that I was able to like walk into rooms and know exactly what everyone in the house was feeling.
Yes.
And it's like I thought I had a superpower.
Yeah.
And then I went to therapy and it was like, oh no, you're just like
Highly tuned.
highly tuned in.
Yes.
Yeah. So that's that when I say I'm sensitive in that way of like being tuned. Like if you were to come in after like having a stressful day and was like,
You could feel it.
I would probably feel it.
Yeah.
Which I'm sure you probably could too, because you don't have to be, I mean, I don't think you have to be that plugged into people.
But honestly, I think we had a similar upbringing because that was very similar to my thing. Like I had my dad had an anger problem. So every time, and it was irrational. Like he would get angry at things no one would ever get angry about. So it's
Yeah.
always like, did I just do something? What's the problem? Is he mad? Is he okay? What the fuck did I just, it's very
so
like
much anxiety.
a lot
So
of
much
anxiety.
anxiety. And like I remember being in my 20s and knowing I had anxiety, because I feel like by the time you're in your 20s, like when
Yeah.
you're a girl at least, you know what that is. Men
Yeah.
for some reason can't get that. But and then I realized that I didn't feel weird as a kid. I had anxiety.
Yeah.
But it's so weird to think of a kid with anxiety.
Yeah.
But when your dad, for example, let's say, is flying off the handles, as a kid, at least what I was doing was trying to figure out how can I make that never happen again.
100%.
Such a fruitless effort.
100%. Oh my God. I was thinking about this one time, like, especially, and I thought I got it so right. My dad asked me we were at like my brother's baseball game and he asked me to get a water for him and they were out of water bottles. And I'm like, I don't know, I'm like 11 and I'm like, oh, what would my dad want instead of a water bottle? He probably loved cotton candy. Duh. Like that would make my dad so happy.
Yeah.
And so I got the cotton candy and he freaked out.
You signed your death certificate.
100%. Like I literally thought I was gonna die. He was like, "You wouldn't even think to get a cup of water." I'm like, I didn't know they have cups of water.
Yeah.
Where's that?
Yeah.
You
no
don't
one clued me in.
No one clued you. You asked for water and you didn't have a backup, and I thought this would make you happy. And it's like,
I'm 11.
I'm 11. yeah. That's the other thing. Like there was no. I think, my dad never took into account our ages. Never.
No. How many siblings do you have?
I have an older brother, younger sister.
Middle child.
Hell
yeah.
Yeah.
Represent.
Wow.
I have an older brother, younger brother.
Oh, wow.
How
Nice.
far apart are the ages? I always ask people this on the show.
Yeah, my brother's a year older. My sister is 6 years younger.
What is with our parents doing that? My older brother's 2 years older than me. My younger brother's 6 years younger than me.
I have a theory that they try to fix the marriage with another kid.
So, okay, I agree, because when I feel like marriages are not going to work out with people our age now, they're married for a year or two, they have a kid. Well, they're married for a year or two, things are rocky, let's have a kid. Things are cool, things get rocky again, let's have another kid. 5 years later, let's get a divorce.
Yeah.
So at the point where our parents could have gotten a divorce, it was like, let's have another kid.
Yeah, let's just see what's
Not
up.
that, I think the only one of us that was like truly planned was my older brother. The rest of us were just like,
yeah, it's,
we're busy.
surprises.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then you just have, are you close with your siblings?
now that we're older, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like there's a group text and
Oh,
we all
that's
have a
cool.
common enemy, which is our parents.
That's perfect.
You know, you have to. Nothing brings people together like a common
100%.
adversary. You know,
100%.
But individually, with my parents, I'm fine.
Yeah.
You know.
Are they divorced?
No, my parents are together. Are yours?
Mine just got divorced.
Really? When?
Yeah, like I think 2 years ago. Or like last summer, I think. Officially, they've been separated for like a long time.
Oh, okay.
But like, they should have gotten divorced. I think the second I gained consciousness, like
totally.
that, I just remember them as the worst couple of all time.
Yeah, same.
And I have no memories of like, yeah, they should stay together. Not one memory. I'm always like, he's pissed. My mom's stressed. You know, this is horrible. And then, which was so crazy after. And I don't blame my mom or anything because they didn't have TikTok. They didn't have all these psychiatrists
Totally
agree. Content telling you this is a big red flag.
Yeah.
If he does this, get out. If she does, if your mother-in-law. But I guess like even before they got married, like my dad's mom like asked my mom to leave him because like he'll never leave her. And, apparently like my aunts told her like this is a really bad relationship, like blah, blah, blah. Saw it from a mile away. And I'm like, then just add 30 years of marriage.
Yeah, no, literally 30 years.
Girl. And my mom's like, I think I made a mistake. I'm like, respectfully, I told my mom to get a divorce like when I was really young, like almost every day. So
yeah, and the fact that they did get a divorce is actually kind of evolved. Like I feel like my friends, a lot of my friends that I grew up with, all of our parents are still married, but we'll have the same conversation of like, I go home and I'm stressed because my parents are just like the way that they are talking to each other is by yelling.
yeah.
And I've gotten to a place where I'm like, who am I to walk into their space and get in the way of the way that they get on and communicate?
Yeah.
You know, why am I taking on this self-imposed role of fixing their dynamic when they don't feel like it needs fixing?
Yeah.
So it's like you get to your 50s, 60s, and you can decide, am I going to, some people don't even make the conscious decision, but it's like, I'm staying in this because I understand how we get along. This is the communications that we've set up. Or you get a divorce. But you said your parents had been separated for a while.
But like my mom really hasn't started being divorced until recently.
Yeah,
like,
it had to be more a fish.
It was really, it's really hard for her, which is so kind of like mind boggling because it was like just so bad for so long. But yeah, I like never hung out with my parents when as an adult. I was like, I'm out. Like, this is stressful.
I was out by 23.
Yeah.
And I went away to college too. I mean, away, 45-minute drive, but still I lived off.
Where are you from?
Jersey.
Okay. Yeah.
So everyone's a drive away, but it's funny because Joe, his family is in San Francisco. And his mom's in San Francisco, his dad's in Tennessee. And I feel like I see them like every other month.
Really?
And
wow.
They have to fly here.
Yeah.
And my parents are 90 minutes door to door if I take NJ Transit. And I'm like, gotta go home for Easter.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And they're happy with it. We're like, we have a good thing going.
Oh, that's good.
You know,
that's good. You got a rhythm.
I call my mom. We talk on Saturdays, you know.
On Saturdays.
Yeah, on Saturdays.
That's nice.
Yeah. It wasn't always like that, you know.
No, yeah.
But someone's got to go to therapy.
Someone's got to go to therapy.
You know.
I did go. I'm out now. I got out.
Nice. I got out. I'm on bi-weekly. I've graduated. I've leveled up. That's
cool.
102 now. But
dude,
that's awesome.
I'm not saying like people don't need therapy. I definitely went with an intention, and then I just felt like eventually it wasn't doing me any good.
Yeah.
And I was just trying to look for problems to tell this therapist. But the times recently that I've needed therapy on some things, I've just talked to ChatGPT.
People are doing that.
And it's been better, honestly. My first therapist was great, but better than any other therapist I've had besides my first one.
Yeah.
Like, it's because it remembers and it does all these callbacks. It remembers and, you know, compresses all this information unlike any human ever could. So
Right.
like, it's honestly been incredible.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
How long have you been seeing Dr. ChatGPT?
I mean, like 2 weeks. I
Nice.
thought of this because I'm like, you know, especially with, I don't know how you are, but like with problems, especially like boy problems or anything, like I don't like to rub my friend's ear dry with it.
Totally.
You know?
Yeah.
Like one of my pet peeves with other people is when they come to me with the same problem and then they don't fix it.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I'm going to blow my brains out.
For sure.
Like I can only, I mean, I want to help my friends, but then it becomes like just kind of a rain cloud situation. And I'm like, you clearly don't want help. But then I was like, I have the same problem. Go to ChatGPT. You can tell them whatever you want all night long.
Yeah.
And you can go as long as you want. And it's free.
It's free.
It's free.
That's what's crazy.
And it's very good advice.
Yeah. Yeah, it's crazy that even on the free version, which I hope that doesn't change, but like it'll keep, you just have that tab open and you can keep the brain dump going.
And then, and even if you like switch subjects, you say, hey, I'm talking about, you know, Derek again. They're like, I'm locked in.
Yeah. Okay.
I know exactly.
Run this back.
Yeah, run it back. Let's talk about it. Even if you have to pay for it, it will always be so much cheaper than therapy.
Totally. And you don't have to do the dating therapist game because you don't just get lucky with getting paired with one. You have to find one that you vibe with. And, you know, I think it's part of the thing that makes therapy so, I mean, amongst other things, but like it very inaccessible for people.
Yeah.
Not even talking about cost.
Yeah, 100%. Not everyone has the time to do that. Or like, well, I don't know, you're commuting to your therapist and it's like
Too
a whole
much.
thing.
It's too much.
Too much.
Yeah.
Too much.
Okay. Cool.
Cool.
It's very cool. I like that. That's cool.
Yeah.
I'm curious because you grew up in the Midwest. Did you know anybody in an MLM?
What's an MLM?
Multi-level marketing. So like Avon, Mary Kay makeup, Tupperware parties.
Oh, dude.
They have the cleaning supplies. They have like Herbalife and
I think like a pyramid scheme.
yes, pyramid scheme.
I think one girl from college got into it, but I kind of got into one. I did the Cutco knives.
Oh, you did Cutco?
I did Cutco.
A lot of college kids did it. My little brother did that.
I did that, but then I actually made like a lot of money.
Oh, fuck yeah.
I made $10,000 in 10 days.
How?
Just by like selling these fucking knives. They're good knives.
Good knives.
That's the thing. And
Yeah.
so like even if it is a scam, it's like these not I mean my parents, when I go to my parents' house, it's still like they're fantastic knives.
So funny. My parents also have Cutco knives.
Yeah. And it's like the way that they sell them, I guess, is pyramid scheming.
Did they do the thing where with the piece of leather and you cut through the leather?
And the penny and a rope,
yeah,
and
yeah.
I did the whole thing. And
Did you sell to your family or did you like?
at first it was family, friends, and then my friends' parents, and then they recommended me, and then I just kept on it. And I was honestly like a greasy salesman for like 10 days because I wanted to pay for a nose job.
Oh hell
So,
yeah! Did you get one?
Yeah.
Oh, sick.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Nice.
And I was able to pay for it. So
You hustled.
I hustled.
And
yeah.
then once you got the new nose, you dropped Cutco.
Yeah, and then they were like begging me to come back because they're like, we've never seen anyone sell like this before. I'm like, yeah, well, I got my nose.
Yeah,
job,
you've
so.
never seen someone so motivated.
Yeah. Like,
that's funny. Yeah, I always wondered. I mean, I guess I don't know enough about it, but I always wondered why Cutco and even some other products like Mary Kay makeup, I think is good makeup, but
I think my friend used to use that a lot.
yeah. I had Mary Kay makeup because I tried selling it.
Yeah.
But I was in college. I wanted to get
Who
drunk.
cares?
I
Yeah,
couldn't
yeah.
care. And the Cutco knives are good. So I don't know why they would do the pyramid scheme thing of like sell knives and also get people to join your downline
Yeah.
Because
yeah.
that's when it becomes like it just goes is a vacuum going to the top because eventually you're going to run out of people. But it's a very Midwest thing.
It is a
to,
Midwest
to
thing.
be in MLM.
I know.
Because I think a lot of moms are housewives, stay-at-home moms, and so it's like a side gig for them, so they don't have to like go out and
for sure.
go to an office. They can be a mom, and
especially in the burbs in the middle of
For
nowhere.
sure,
Yeah,
yeah.
it's a perfect middle of nowhere job.
totally,
Yeah.
totally. But you're gonna run out of people. So, that's so. Why did you want to get a nose job?
Oh, because my nose was horrible.
Yeah,
I mean,
is it a family nose?
Respect to my old nose, but yeah, it definitely is. I'm Italian, and it came from my Italian side, my dad's family. It's very Roman. And, I do wonder what I would look like if I had it today, but it was one of those things where it was the first. So your nose is the first thing to grow on your face, and then it never stops growing. And like, it was so big. So as a kid, people call me big nose. It's a whole thing. And then as I got older, it just looked like I just got punched in the face because it was like very wide,
Right.
very kind of like very bulbous. I guess Roman nose that's what it is. It's an Italian nose, and it's not like I love the big noses where there's like a shape to it.
Yeah.
Mine was just like round, and like everyone in my family. A lot of people in my family have gotten nose jobs because of it, because it's kind of a traumatizing nose, to be honest.
I was gonna ask, like, I feel like that would be something if you're the only one doing it. They're like, why would you get away the Orlando defining feature? Why would you do? Everyone was like, this is a birthright.
Yeah, 100%. My great aunt, so my grandfather's sister, she got a nose job like in the 50s because she had like she had the worst one out of all
She
of
risked
them.
her life.
And apparently it didn't go well.
Oh no,
which was sad, but like
awful.
Apparently nose jobs have been around for like a very long time.
Well, people have always had breathing issues, so they've had to get in there to.
Yeah, and it actually started with war. So rhinoplasty started with, soldiers being, hurt in war, and then they had to figure out like how to jimmy a nose, and then eventually, I don't think they're that necessarily hard, but to get like the Bella Hadid, like perfect slant, boom, 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 like that takes like an artist.
Yes.
But if you just wanted like the bump out and a little thinner, I think they could. I think they could. I mean, Marilyn Monroe got a nose job, and it looks fantastic. I mean, she's beautiful, right?
Are you? Do you have a deep knowledge of the history of nose jobs?
I guess I do. No, I guess I do, because I was very I've been obsessed with my nose my whole life. A nose is something I notice on someone immediately. I really like your nose, by the way, and and I really appreciate noses. Like, I'm not critical of them, and I do love them on everyone. And but then, for me, it was just, I will say I thought once I got the nose job, all my problems would be fixed. And that's never the case with anything.
Such a curse.
Such a curse.
Yeah.
So yeah, but I'm glad I got it. I think if I didn't get it, I would look more Italian. But my Nona, who is Irish, she's 100% Irish.
That's my favorite thing about Italian American families.
Yeah. Well, she wasn't like my grandfather. His family was like, you're marrying an Italian. Like, you're not. Yeah. This is not happening.
It's not kosher.
Not kosher. And then she came in, and then his family was just like, you're Italian, you're not Irish.
And she claimed it.
And then, but she's like, I'm so happy that you guys all got the Irish noses. I'm like, if you only know.
If only, yeah. But we can't tell grandma.
We can't tell grandma.
No.
But like my aunt, my dad, my mom, my brother.
Yeah. Wow. You're transracial.
Yeah, transracial. Yeah, that's cool.
You're not Italian. You're Irish.
I'm Irish. I am. Whoa. Look at that.
It's so Chicago to be Italian Irish.
Yeah, 100%.
Irish Italian.
Irish Italian. Yeah.
So was your nose the only thing you were insecure about, or like did you think about your body at all growing up? Like,
It was kind of interesting. Like I actually never thought about my weight until I got to college. And I never, like, my parents were always telling me like you should lose weight, and I was like, you guys don't know what
nice.
you're talking about.
You're like, I know what I'm doing.
Yeah, I was like, you guys are idiots. And it's weird. I never even like thought about their comments, but my parents are like two, you know, I would say to a fault, like fitness freaks. My dad eats half a sandwich a day. You know, they're both like anorexic, like fucking, I don't know, workout freaks. You know what I'm saying?
They've always been into their looks.
No, 100%. And like fit, and it's like, okay, you're gonna run 5 miles every day for your life,
Right.
Like that's crazy.
Yeah.
That's insane.
I mean, it's cheaper than therapy, and they didn't have ChatGPT.
I think that's 100% right. Yeah,
So-
especially for my dad. I'm
Yeah.
like, no one should be working out.
And this is
hard.
a guy that still doesn't have anger regulation.
No,
He's out there doing that.
and yeah, I know. And he's like, I mean, he's
But maybe his blood sugar's low. He's hungry. That's why he's so mad.
maybe. I mean, he's always said if I don't work out, I turn into a person I don't know. I'm
Yeah.
like, I'm so curious what that is.
Yeah.
I didn't know this could get worse. That's crazy.
Yeah, it's like when you put water on a what's it called? A gizmo. Gremlin.
Yeah.
Like what, how does it get worse?
Yeah, how does this possibly get worse? But then so yeah, and I think I mean, I was overweight a little bit. I was just thick. I was Midwest thick. I call myself. You know what I'm saying? And I was eating bread bowls all the time.
Hell yeah.
A lot of bread, and I was like, yeah, weight doesn't exist.
You were like living near Wisconsin, which is just like
cheese and bread.
cheese and bread and underage drinking.
Yeah. It was fine. And then I go to college, and everyone is a supermodel.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, maybe I'm like way too big.
Yeah. Did you go far for college?
I went to Indiana University.
Okay, so out of state.
Out of state, yeah.
It's always a weird time because you're 18 years old.
Yeah.
You are now living in a place that's outside of your house, which was chaos.
Yeah.
And it's like you don't have parents that are watching what they're eating, and now it's like, here's a meal plan.
Yeah.
You know,
100%.
that's really where the freshman 15 comes from. So did you not get affected by the freshman 15? You like immediately were just like, everyone's
I actually like
skinny.
lost weight
Yeah.
because I was like working out all the time because especially there was a gym there, and I saw like how other people were there's a lot of hot girls at Indiana, and there's a lot of hot girls doing hot girl things, which is like, I work out every day, I don't eat, I fucking party, I look hot, I go to Urban Outfitters, and I was just like, okay, I'll just do that.
Right.
You know, and then there was
Pretty good life.
Pretty good life. And then, you know, there was all these hot guys there too, so that was a motivator too. And I was like, I want to get skinny so guys like me.
And like you said, you were Midwest thick, so like you're probably, but I mean, in the mid 2000s, 2010s, that was still fat. People always talk about the early aughts in the 90s as being bad with diet culture. I think that in 2010, when we were in college, it was 2010, 2012.
I went 2012.
So I feel like that was also just like, you know, if you were a size 8, it was too much.
It was too much.
Too much.
No, I know. And it was I think, and then the people who, especially because I joined a sorority.
Oh, cool. Same. And I had my glow up thanks to the sorority.
Really? Oh yeah, me too. I feel like
it was one of those like real like Princess Diaries. Like,
stop.
Now I own a thong.
Oh wow, that's so cool.
What sorority were you in?
It's called Alpha Phi.
Alpha Phi. You would be an Alpha Phi.
I would.
They were the hot girls. Not that there wasn't an Alpha Phi on my campus, but like I feel like nationally, it's like the hottest girls.
Man, I really wanted to get in because I was like, I just want to be. No, I wasn't necessarily a loser in high school.
misunderstood, like you said.
Misunderstood. I was kind of the butt of everyone's joke. I was like, everyone's like, oh, Elle's dumb, and nobody kind of respects me, which is fine. And then I go to college. I'm like, I want to be someone that people don't fuck with, and I want to be hot, and I want to take drugs, and I want to drink alcohol. And so I was like, this looks like the coolest sorority. And they're also retarded. So I just go in and I immediately just talk about drugs and partying, and they're like, she's cool.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
And then I just got in.
Nice. Yeah.
So, which also means nothing, but it would, the girlhood of it is special in the way that you learn a lot of things, like thongs.
Yeah. Thongs, dyeing your hair blonde.
Yeah.
Like, and also, I feel like for me with the sorority, it's like I wasn't a loser in high school, like what you mentioned. I didn't have a ton of friends, but like the friends that I have from high school now are like my homies.
Yeah.
But I didn't really have a lot of ancillary acquaintances.
Yeah.
But when I got to college, I was like, I want to do college right. Same vibe.
Yeah, same vibe.
And I saw Delta Phi Epsilon. I was like, oh, they're the coolest ones. And so I what I learned in the sorority, and it's so dumb now, but like it was the first time of like being confronted with like, oh, people will like hook up with other people's boyfriends, and like, people will be just kind of shitty to you and like not invite you to things. When I feel like I learned there was so much girlhood in the good and the bad ways that I'm glad I learned in college.
Yeah.
No,
100%. And sometimes I get like, or not anymore, but I used to get like kick myself because I always knew I wanted to do stand up, but I was just too afraid to like do it and start it and everything. But then thinking about who I was in college and during those years, I'm like, I'm so happy comedians never saw me like that.
100%.
It was like dark times. And I was never, and I also think, I don't know if it's true, but like the households that we grew up in, like we didn't have a chance to mature.
Yeah.
In a way where we're like, oh, I know what I want to be. I never had the confidence to like think about my life in that way.
Yeah. And
so I was very immature and I was very stupid, and I'm glad I started stand up when I did.
Yeah, I feel like I always thought something was wrong with me because I didn't know what I wanted to do. I didn't know what I wanted to be when I grew up. So of course I went to school for like, some nutrition health related thing, because when you're obsessed with, I'm like a calorie encyclopedia.
Yeah.
So that's just kind of like the natural deviation of where you're going to go. But I agree that it's hard to mature in an environment like that because you don't have a good, I learn by example.
Yeah.
When I see people being immature, and if someone talked about me the way that I sometimes talk about my parents, even in the vaguest sense, I'd be like, fuck you.
Yeah.
And I don't mean it disparagingly at all. I really, really don't. I mean it in that I feel bad that was the cards you were dealt.
Yeah.
Like I feel bad that you had to like put us through Catholic school, and like, I say it with a ton of grace because it's tough.
No, 100%. Like I don't think my dad wanted children that early.
Yeah.
And respect. I mean, me neither.
For sure.
Me
I know
neither.
we're the age.
Yeah.
That they would have been having us.
Yeah, 100%.
Which is crazy.
And I think he was just stressed and things like that. But yeah, so what are you gonna do? But yeah, I think me and my parents were cool now.
Yeah, of course.
Everything's chill.
Well, I mean, not of course. Not everyone's cool with their parents, but I think it's cool when you can just. I'm not here to blame anybody for anything.
No, you gotta let that go eventually.
The story you told about subbing water with cotton candy, it was a story that you can call on very quickly, and that was a baseball game with your dad. He doesn't he might not even remember the cotton candy incident.
He doesn't remember my childhood.
Exactly.
He doesn't remember anything.
It was a whirlwind.
It's a whirlwind. He like blacked out most of it, and I'm like, that means you were in a healthy time in your life.
Yeah, for
yeah,
sure. Yeah.
that's a good sign.
Yeah, I don't remember my childhood either.
Yeah.
So I get it, dude.
Yeah.
For when you were in college and you were like, I want to be skinny now, like, was it just like, okay, I'm not going to eat? Or is it like, oh, I'm going to drink my calories and alcohol?
You know, I always wanted an eating disorder, to be honest, but I didn't. I just had no willpower. And eventually I realized, like, I think it is an actual disorder that you kind of have to have. And I think some people can persevere and, you know, if they really want it and kind of make their own way through the eating disorder. But like, I would just be like, okay, I'm not eating today. And then an hour later being like, let's start tomorrow, you know?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. So those didn't really work. I guess I was doing like, I was doing like Vyvanse, working out, pre-workout. I was working out a fuck ton. So that's what I was, and drinking. But I was never like that skinny still, because I think like I was just swollen from all the like drinking and stuff. Like I couldn't work out enough. There's no amount. But I did go paleo one time, and that helped a lot, specifically with my ADD.
Go figure.
Yeah. And I lost a lot of weight. Yeah.
And so, yeah, paleo is like no carb.
Yeah.
Right?
The caveman diet.
Yeah. But you used to do it. You don't do it anymore.
No, I did it for like 3 months. It was really hard and very expensive and very like, it takes up all of your brain power, because you're constantly thinking like, what am I going to eat? Where am I going? Are they going to have things that I can eat? And it's like, it takes up your...
Yeah, that's what's tough about diets in general. And like, it's great to hear that you know, had the positive effects of losing weight and it helping with your ADD. I mean, that especially is like so cool. But you can only do it for 3 months, and 3 months is even a long time.
No, it was a long time, and mainly because I was home during the summer. So I wasn't even doing, like, I was just telling my mom, buy this, this, and this.
Yeah, you weren't even putting in the grunt work.
Yeah, 100%. So I was doing that, and then, and that's the thing. I've tried every diet, and I've tried it for like 2 weeks or something. I went vegan for 3 months or 6 months. I actually went vegan. That was the long diet, but I gained weight, and then
did you go vegan for like a guy, or because you wanted to lose weight, or because
honestly,
you felt bad?
I did it because I saw a documentary that said if you go vegan, you'll be able to do like athletic things easier. Like your body will just run better. And I was supposed to run a marathon or a half marathon, and then another marathon the day after, and I didn't train for it. And I was like, oh, I'll just go vegan. and I did it, and I ran it. It was totally fine. So
damn, you didn't regret running a marathon without training?
No, I honestly didn't like train, but at the time I was working out a ton,
you just
but I wasn't
running.
I just wasn't running.
Yeah. So what's your relationship like with working out now?
I'm the healthiest I've ever been in like all areas of my life now.
That's awesome. What happened?
I don't...
ChatGPT?
No, honestly, it's a lot of... Because with working out, I think it wasn't like the eating disorders. It was the working out I was really toxic with.
That is a disorder. People think like... I mean, ED, is centered around eating, but workout disorder, I don't really know what a name for it would be. I'm sure it exists, but that is a disorder.
Yeah, like there was a time in my life where I was going to the gym 2 hours a day, and I was running like, I don't know, 5 miles. Wow. And then doing like weights, and then I was so skinny, and then I wasn't eating anything, and then I would go 100%, and then I'd burn out and gain it all back. And that happened so many times that I was like, girl, you gotta, it's better to do the minimum consistently than it is to do the maximum.
Yes.
For 2 weeks, for even like 3 months.
Totally.
Because it will actually, I think you'll lose weight in the long run, and you'll keep it off.
That's how people get stuck in the diet culture cycle, because they try to do something hard. Like diet starts tomorrow. Like I'm going to be perfect. And they try to be perfect for so long, and then the burnout happens.
Yeah.
And it's like, well, I fucked it up, so I'm throwing it out the window.
Yeah.
What you said about doing something smaller, better, gets you further along
the way.
Yeah. Where it's like not like this. You don't want to look at it as I'm going to do this for a certain amount of time. It's like I just want to work this into my life so that it's always there for me.
Yeah, and it's such a better relationship, and it does. At first it was really hard to get used to because I was like, I'm just wasting time. I'm not really doing anything. I'm only at the gym for like 30 minutes. I should be here for hours and hours. But then when you just like force yourself to be okay with showing up and saying, hey, that was the win today, is just going to the gym.
Yeah, for sure.
That's the win. It's not, sweating until you can't breathe. And I think especially with stand up, I can't run that. I can't do too much cardio or else I can't last all night.
Totally. Yeah. You have to think about other areas. That's what's cool about caring about something outside of the way that you look. Because you need to make sure you allocate energy for it.
No, 100%. So it's like a little bit of that. And then like with diet, I just found that like I intentionally make it a point to eat something every day that like is really healthy for me and feeds me. And I do my supplements and I do my green juice and I do that. But like if I want to eat a fucking donut, I'm going to eat a donut.
Yeah. That's you've mastered intuitive eating.
Yeah. That's what it's called?
That's what it is. Yeah, just eating when you're hungry, and if you have a craving, doing the craving.
Yeah.
When you were in the periods of working out a ton and not eating a lot, how was your anger?
My anger. Oh, really bad. I fully used to have an anger problem, and that was definitely from like, dad trauma and then not dealing with it. And but yeah, I was really angry.
Yeah, because you were like acting like your dad. You were working out all the time, not eating.
Yeah.
And being angry.
No, 100%. I didn't even realize that. Yeah, I was. And had a short fuse. But I also I had this thing in college where I wanted people to be afraid of me because I wanted
respect.
And I thought that would make me happy. And it just made me sad because then everyone was just afraid of me.
You've described multiple instances where you did it hoping you'd be happy after and it didn't work.
And it didn't work.
What the fuck is that?
Yeah. Just
nose jobs, people fearing you. Because fear is a sign of respect. And it's like, I'm still upset. But you don't seem upset now.
No, I'm very zen, very happy.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
And did you have like a bottom to get there?
Yeah, I think the bottom was all my friends were afraid of me. I kept on like every time I drank. Now I'm like, I can drink whatever. I also had I don't like to call it a drinking problem. I'm not an alcoholic. I'm just from Chicago.
Yeah. And I think that all of us, well, not all of us, but I think a lot of us in college went through our little binge drinking era.
Yeah.
I totally did.
Yeah. And I did it from when I was like 15 until I was like 26.
Totally.
And I think so when I started doing stand up, I stopped drinking for 4 months, totally reset my system. And now I have like the most like healthiest relationship with alcohol.
Totally.
And I think, the anger thing happened. I mean, I also saw it as a superpower. Like I always have the ability to reach that level of anger and freak out. Right now I could do it.
Right.
And I could ruin everything. But instead of doing it, I've found power in silence, and it actually hurts people more. And this is not healthy, but it hurts people more when you don't respond.
Totally.
And I will say I am petty. And I want to get you. And the way to get people is to not respond.
Do you date men with anxious attachments? Because that is how you hurt an anxious attachment person.
Really?
By not responding.
Oh.
They're like, why aren't they responding to me?
That's good to know.
Oh, God.
That's good to know. I know. Yeah. I just, I think honestly, the not responding thing. I've had this. There was just kind of like a shift where I just learned anger is not. It's not healthy. It's not cool. You don't need it. And yeah, sometimes I'll freak out if a car tries to hit me in the
Right.
street, and I'll be like, "What the fuck are you
Right.
doing?" You know. But in terms of people, I feel like it's like that Buddha quote. When you stab someone with a knife, it's with anger. It's like a double-edged sword.
Right. Like you cut yourself.
Self as your.
But what I was gonna say, I didn't want to
Sorry.
interrupt you
No.
because I'm terrible with that. But anger is not the primary emotion ever. There's
Oh.
always something under anger.
Oh.
So if you almost get hit by a car, you're gonna get angry, but the emotion just beneath the anger is fear that you almost got hit. Or
Wow.
when, something happens with, someone you're dating and you get really angry, the emotion under it is sadness or hurt, like anxiety that you did this thing to me or whatever it is that
Right.
we're fighting about. So that's why people say anger is useless, because it's not really getting at what you're feeling.
The true issue. It's
Yes.
just masking it.
Yes. Wow. And that's kind of the thing of like, cutting someone and it cutting you.
Mm-hmm.
It's not productive.
It's not productive. And I think I've had those experiences, those like real life experiences, more so with friendships, where I see like it was more of like a manipulative. I hate to use the word narcissistic, but they were narcissistic.
Yeah.
I really did my research. I'm like, I'm not going to call them narcissistic unless I know I honestly think they have a personality disorder, if I'm being honest. But even with that, you just like finding like grace for them. Like they can't control it.
Yeah.
So there's no and don't feed the fire. Anger feeds the fire.
Totally.
Yeah.
And you get stuck in a loop.
You get stuck in a loop and it disrupts your peace. There's nothing better than peace.
Yeah. Oh my God, I know.
Yeah.
And it's hard to achieve anyways. So all you can do is focus on your own peace. You can't worry about anybody else's.
Yeah. And you have to just focus on your own peace and making sure everyone you surround yourself with is giving you peace.
Yes. Yes.
You don't give me peace, I don't see you.
Totally.
Yeah.
So you have to be good at boundaries.
Boundaries. I'm actually like, I think originally I was really bad, and I'm getting better.
It's always a relief to hear that someone that is getting better with boundaries is hanging out with you, because it's like, oh, I wasn't a part of the boundary set.
Yeah. No, 100%. Well, it's honestly like more so with men, like with friendships. I'm very strong and confident, and like the second I feel something's weird, I'm kind of gone, and I trust my instincts. And then it's really with dating and relationships where I'm like, oh, I'll give them the benefit of the doubt. You probably didn't mean it like this. You probably meant to call, and blah blah blah.
Yeah.
And so that's kind of what I'm getting better with, but I did struggle for a long time.
Well, I was gonna ask, are these men affecting your Zen?
Not anymore.
Good. Oh,
Not
hell
anymore.
yeah.
I'm telling you.
Talk about being in your power.
I am in my power,
Yeah.
dude. I'm happy. I'm gaining it all back. I'm seeing things for what they are. It's fantastic.
That's awesome.
Yeah. Yeah. How do you feel?
It's a work in progress.
Yeah.
We're getting there.
Working progress for sure. We're not done.
No, the work's not done. I don't know. I feel like truly, since I've started exercising regularly, like a lot of pieces in my life have fallen into place that were really awry. Like I the kids call them crash outs, but the anger was just, if I got frustrated at work, if I, because I still have to have a day job. And so it's like, if I was really overwhelmed with anything, poor Joe, taking it out on him.
Yeah.
And luckily he's very understanding, but like, I'm getting mad, I'm getting angry, but like really what I'm feeling is overwhelm. And so, I don't know what happened. I just was like, let me try this fucking bar studio in my neighborhood. And ever since I started doing that, I'm like, I still get stressed, but my I don't get angry anymore. There's just tears that fall from my eyes, but I'm not crying.
Oh, I love that.
But like water has to escape my eyeballs,
Dude,
but I'm not crying.
I totally understand that.
Do you ever come across on TikTok people, I feel like this is mostly women, when they record themselves having a conversation on like Zoom with like a boss or something, and they're like kind of laying it out like, well, I've led up this team, blah, 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 and you've been poorly managing us. And like they have the ability to just kind of like tell their boss that they suck with while being very professional. Mm-hmm. Are you familiar with those videos?
I know. I've seen
something oddly specific.
No. I've seen a couple of them. I've also seen the joke versions of them.
Yes. Yes. My thing with that is, how did you do that without crying?
I know.
Can you teach me?
Oh my God. And still to this day, I can, I've come so far in so many, like, I guess, physiological or psychological, like, aspects of my brain, personality, blah, blah, blah. But if I get frustrated, like truly frustrated, I have to cry.
Yeah, we're sensitive.
We're sensitive, especially in a business.
Oh my God.
Especially in a business setting.
I physically cannot subscribe to there is no crying at work. Like I've heard women say that, women I respect very deeply, that say like, no, do not cry at work. It's physically impossible for me.
It's impossible.
I cried to my boss like earlier this week, like, because I just was overwhelmed. But you know what? I got results.
That's what I'm saying. And you do get results. Like, people really like get in line real quick when you start crying.
And that's when it can become manipulative, which I've gotten past. Like when I was younger, oh man, did I weaponize those tears? Yeah. I always, because it was a matter of survival. You know? But now as an adult, where I'm not doing that. It's just, I'm overwhelmed. You gave me a project that I don't know where the fuck to start. I started out this job 4 months ago. What do you want from me? And I didn't say it like that, but that's how I was feeling. And I was just, crying that I'm overwhelmed. And now there's a workflow. So I don't know what you want, it just worked out, So, I think, like we said, it's always a work in progress. But I think my biggest thing is just not comparing myself to other people. Mm-hmm. I think that's really hard to not do, especially with Instagram. It's just so hard.
Yeah, dude, that's why I turn my phone off.
Yeah, I know.
I've been turning my phone off, and it's been really changing my life.
Are you being like a phone detox?
You know how you were saying you can feel like energy and things? I'm not even doing a phone detox. I'm saying if I'm not using my phone, it's off.
Nice.
And I'm telling you, you can feel when your phone is off. Once you start doing this, you can feel when your phone is on. When you turn your phone off, anxiety lowers immediately.
Maybe that's why my phone is always on Do Not Disturb.
Yeah, maybe.
But maybe it needs to be off.
For me, it's different if it's off and on. That, because I used to just think, oh, it's just the app, so I'll get an app blocker.
Yeah, no.
And it still affects me. And when it's off, I feel like free.
Nice. That's amazing.
And oh my God, I've been so much more creative. I have so much more thoughts, so many more ideas. And
the 5G.
The 5G is it's got to be real. Sorry, I do dip
literally
into conspiracy theory.
Same, I do too.
But how can you not? And by the way, not all conspiracy theories are conspiracy theories. I think some of them are just like big pharma and companies not wanting you to learn, which I sound like the biggest cracko ever.
No.
Wacko.
That's what they want. That's what big pharma wants.
They want, it's all gaslighting.
Yeah.
And some conspiracy theories are conspiracy theories, but I think the phone, there is a difference than when it's on and when it's off.
Yeah.
Also, when you sleep with your phone off, you sleep better.
Damn.
And that's a proven fact for me.
Okay, so I have to stop with work mode. I have to stop, I put my phone in work mode, which I can't get any notifications aside from people that I allow through. And when I sleep, I put my phone on sleep mode, but off.
Unfortunately.
Okay.
Especially if you wake up and your phone, I don't know your schedule. You have to make it work with your schedule. Right. But I wake up, unless I have to post something or make something with my podcast, phone's off, and I leave it off for as long as I can. Even when I try to do it until 2 p.m.
Whoa, that's great.
And then when you open your phone, you're like, I feel good.
Plus, there's my iMessage is on my Mac, so
Yeah, you can cheat a little bit.
Yeah.
You know, there's, you got to give yourself grace. And again, it's not 100%. You're just, know.
It's funny that you've brought that up because literally this morning, I on Thursdays I wake up really early in the morning because I want to do this bar class before work, and so I was up this morning. I didn't want to be up. Waking up is the hardest fucking thing, and I'm not a morning person. And I am going about my morning, half asleep, getting my shit together to walk out the door, and I'm scrolling TikTok as I'm doing it,
Yeah.
like phone in hand. Not really watching, but like I'm listening to TikTok while at 6 o'clock in the morning while I'm getting my life together. And as I walked out the door and I'm walking to class and I was like, I need to figure that out. Like that's too, why can't I just have like silence in the morning?
Well, I think it depends on what you care about. And I think that's when it changed for me. And I'm not saying you don't care about this, but it's like realizing what you care about.
Yeah.
And like, I care about my thoughts, and I care about being creative and making original like material for stand up. And I know that when I look at my phone, it's draining me of all my thoughts.
Yeah.
And it's giving you the effect that it's doing the opposite, because you're like, oh, you're learning all this stuff. And some of it, not all of it's bad. Like, I've learned so much from social media and very valuable things, but on a day-to-day, like, I want to be efficient in my own brain. I want to have my own thoughts. I want to have my own ideas, and I can't do that when I'm looking at the phone.
Totally. Yes, I used to be somebody that like I couldn't leave the house unless I had earbuds in with some form of content, whether it was music or a podcast or something going into my brain. And so I would go on these walks with listening to other people's thoughts and opinions. And I kind of I was realizing that the only time I'm writing jokes is when I'm in the shower because I don't have anything playing.
Yeah.
And I was like,
so many comics say that.
oh my God. When I'm walking the dog, I can just not have like, it was like so embarrassing almost that like I had to have this epiphany of like, yeah, when you aren't listening to stuff and you're kind of just in a place of isolation, thoughts will come to you.
Thoughts will
so
come
I
to you.
stopped, I actually will walk with like earbuds in so people don't talk to me, but nothing playing.
I do that all the time. Yeah, I do that all the time.
And you start to, I thought, my God, I've lived in this neighborhood 10 years and like I don't even know the vibe of it because I have other shit in my head.
Yeah.
So I think that it's exactly what you're saying of like realizing what's important to you. And I think I realized this morning that what's important to me is not listening to another person's opinion on Remy Bader saying she got weight loss surgery on TikTok.
100%. And it's like, who cares?
And again, I think it has a place because that, I think that, if you want to sit and have content time, just like how there was family computers, you have to go sit at the computer to enjoy your content. Great. That's when I want to enjoy people's opinions on Remy Bader, but not at 6 o'clock in the morning.
No, not 6 o'clock in the morning. You got to give yourself time to get your own perspective on life.
Yeah. And you know what I find is because I do have a day job where it's, an email job, it's a computer job when I'm not talking to clients. That's fine to listen to podcasts and music and stuff because it's like I'm already doing this other thing. It doesn't have to be all the time, but because I still enjoy listening to podcasts. I still enjoy content, but it's just hard, and you got to pick a time and a place, and every day can be different for you. But I think to have your own thoughts and opinions, it's important for everyone, not just like comedians, not just for creatives. Like, it really makes you feel free. And like, try leaving your phone at home when you go out for coffee, like things like that. And it's when you use your phone and your phone doesn't use you, that's when you're in a good place. Yo, I love that.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's so easy to think of an excuse as to why you shouldn't leave your phone at home for coffee. Like, it's
Oh, yeah.
so easy to think of an excuse. Like, how am I going to pay for the coffee? It's like, well, everything used to not always be Apple
Wallet.
Pay.
Yeah.
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 You know?
Oh my God, it's so annoying when you try to pay cash and everyone's like, "What is that?" I'm like, "Girl, you have
Dude.
it's like by law you need to accept the cash."
Yeah. You know what? That's because of private equity.
What do
Like,
you
when
mean?
you go to, have you ever gone to a baseball game at like Citi Field?
Yeah.
Everything is cashless. Everything is Citibank, like, use credit card. And that is because private, oh God, I wish I was more well versed to explain this better, but there are podcasts where you can learn this. Private equity will come in and like revamp, like it's in football now, it's in the NFL, and they'll make a stadium like all cashless. And this now I'm going to start to sound like a conspiracy theory, but
People spend more money.
people spend more money, and
No, that makes sense because it's just a tap. You're not like really thinking about how much money do I only have $20.
Exactly.
You know?
You spend more money, and
Tip more probably.
Tip more.
Tip more to people who don't deserve tips.
right, and we should never want to be in a cashless society.
No.
But we're all sold convenience.
Yeah.
And so that's what it is. I went to I was unemployed for a little bit, best time of my life, and I went to London. And so I converted like $300 into pounds.
Mm-hmm.
It was impossible to get rid of those fucking pounds. It was impossible. I was so pissed.
Really?
No need to have even brought them. I went to like a market
In London?
In London, I went
They
to
don't
like
they don't accept pounds?
it was anytime I went to pay for something in cash, they looked at me like I had three heads. They're like, "Oh, you're a tourist." Yeah. It was crazy. Like, I was at like a market that you would think is like, remember when you would go to like antique markets and things and you had to have cash?
You needed cash.
The guy was like, "Please, no cash." And I was like, "All right." Yeah.
Wow.
So I was like paying for like the subway, like going up to
That's so weird. I also think it's weird because it's like, don't you want to? Doesn't some business want to be like illegitimate?
I know.
What are we doing? We're just all.
I think the way that system, London especially, it's like, that's a whole vibe that's being extinct. That's a whole thing. That's no longer.
I don't like that. I like cash. I like money.
Yeah.
I like feeling like, especially when you have like a handful of 20s, you're like, I'm good. I have food for the next 2 weeks.
I am, yes.
You know?
I'm rich.
And I feel like I have
And
a
that's
better
abundance.
That is abundance, yeah. And I feel like I have a better grasp on how much money I have. Like if I'm just looking at a number, I'm like, bing, 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 bing.
Yeah. Tap, 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 tap,
Tap, tap, tap, tap, tap, tap. Online shop. Oh my God.
Oh, my phone's over there. But like the shopping online, pay with Apple Pay, fucking TikTok shop.
TikTok shop. No, yeah. Oh my God. No, I had to stop TikTok shop. I did get a few things that were helpful, but I'm like, I need to stop. I just need to stop.
And I think that there are safeguards you can put in place of like, put it in the cart and then you legitimately have to wait a week. And if you can't wait a week for it, then you have to go to the grocery store to buy it.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, I do things like that, or like, I mean, recently I've just said no more shopping because I had a really bad spree.
Oh, really? What happened?
I think, as I'm on my health journey, things just happen.
That was Amazon, by the way.
Cool.
that fucking ding.
She's listening in.
Yeah.
She's like, this sounds good. I just had a thing with a guy, and it was very stressful, and I wasn't like drinking, and I didn't, the shopping addiction, and I would say addiction's a strong word, but it just like kind of crept up on me because I'm like, oh, I'm not drinking, I'm not doing drugs, I'm not like ruining in my life. I just like pressing purchase.
You need dopamine
every
somewhere.
day. Yeah. And it kind of like, I didn't notice I was doing that, and then I did, and then I was like, oh, I'm getting like a lot of packages every day. Oh, I'm in a lot of credit card debt. Okay, this needs to end.
Yeah. And it's all on shit. Like it's all just
bullshit.
stuff.
Yeah,
Stuff that when I get like a burst of energy that just ends up in the trash, and then I'm like adding to landfills, but I need to get it out of my house.
Yeah, and it was just anxiety. It was anxiety driven release. Yes. So
damn, girl.
Be careful around on the internet when you're anxious.
Yeah, for sure. And it's helpful to be mindful, because then you can realize that what you're doing is
Yeah, I learned my lesson.
yeah, for sure.
Still learning it.
Damn, it's already been an hour.
Whoa.
Can you believe it?
Whoa.
That was crazy.
Hell yeah.
We time traveled.
We did. This was a fun podcast.
Thank you. I appreciate it. It's it's my favorite thing that I do that not enough people listen to. Like I don't believe in anything. I don't believe in anything that I put out except for this podcast.
Aw, I love that.
Like I don't know. It's something where I'm like, no, this is good.
This is good stuff.
I really appreciate you coming over.
Yeah, thanks for having me,
Sick.
dude. This was great.
Thank you. Can you let the people know where to find you?
Oh yeah, on Instagram would be great at _Elle Orlando_. You know, what are you gonna do with the underscores? There's a Elle Orlando account, but it exists, but no one's using it.
And it's like, I was just having this conversation today with someone at work, actually. With Meta, there is no getting that account. They just would rather it exists in the ether unused, which is so annoying.
Can you just give me the account?
Yeah, it's
just
crazy.
Give it. I wonder if someone bought it and is waiting for me to pop off.
That's a whole industry.
That is
what
a
people
whole
do.
Yeah.
You know, people just sit around waiting for domains to expire, and then they buy it up right away and hold it for ransom.
My domain on my website is worth like a couple grand.
No way.
Yeah, Elle
Nice.
Orlando. Yeah, I have
probably have really good SEO.
It probably does. And but that's actually my work, I used to be like a web designer. That's my web designer website. It's not even my comedies, Elle Orlando Comedy just .com. God, I'm so brain fried. But yeah, thanks for having me on.
Yeah, thanks for coming on. Okay, guys, anywhere to find Elle will be in the description of the show. Until next week, I'll talk to you. Bye.